The CBI has said there's been no material change. It has not changed the central theme. All the people suspected, if there's any corporate or any individual who's got the coal allocation through some kind of a wrong representation, he says none of those items have been excused. And by the way, on the critical element of the role of the PMO, the CBI has mentioned that where they took the feedback of the PMO was because it made a factual correction. So the CBI has a responsibility. It cannot submit an investigative report that is flawed, and therefore it sought the expert's opinion of those who are involved in terms of giving that feedback. So I think that is the crux of the report. And I believe the Supreme Court today,
wrong on both counts.
1 minute.
Wrong
last
on all
but not the least, the Supreme Court will take a call.
Wrong
on
all
Congress
counts.
Party stance.
So,
and the CBI, I think, has been very transparent.
Mahesh Jethmalani, wrong on 2 counts, but I'd like you to respond.
Nobody is second guessing the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, we all know the matter is sub judice, and the Supreme Court is monitoring this investigation, which is why the conduct of the PMO, the coal ministry official, the Attorney General, Law Minister is all the more reprehensible. But that apart, Sanjay is completely wrong. When the CBI says that coal ministry officials and other officials of the government were made a part of the inquiry, what they meant was, in the course of investigation, we have interrogated and summoned documents from these people to assist the investigation, understand the case, fix liability and criminality. But it is no part of any law officer or any bureaucrat, all of whom are under suspicion at the moment, to vet an affidavit. Please understand, Sanjay Jha, that a status report does not require any legal input. A status report is a pure statement of the factual situation prevailing on a particular day as the CBI and the CBI independently sees it.
So the question, no, 2 questions.
The CBI has said that the status report has not been seen by the political executive. I'm agreeing with you. The CBI has said the status report has not been seen by anybody in the political executive.
The CBI...
And the CBI has also said that they have no clear directive in their policy manual that tells them who to
I'm coming in.
No. That is the CBI stance.
No.
Not my personal view. This is the CBI stance.
1 minute. Arnab, this is very important. Sanjay Jha, I have to say that you are concealing more than you are revealing. You know that Mr. Ghulam Vahanwati suggested that a status report need not be filed, an affidavit has to be filed. So at Ghulam Vahanwati's request, what ought to have been a status report was converted to an affidavit, which affidavit was vetted under the aegis of the Law Ministry by Mr. Ghulam Vahanwati and others.
Mr. Jethmalani,
so be speeches on this matter.
Mr. Jethmalani,
affidavit
tonight
replaced the status report.
Tonight I challenge Sanjay Jha or Abid Rasool. Actually, let me get Abid Rasool also in to prove to me. Mr. Rasool, I challenge you to prove to me that the Joint Secretary PMO, who is being consulted by the CBI, is meant to be consulted by the CBI. Or is the Joint Secretary PMO, please 1 second, and I've got the status report. Point number 8. Later in the evening, the same day, a meeting was held by Shatrughan Sinha, Joint Secretary in PMO, etc., etc. I submit before this honorable court that regular interaction continues between my officers and said officials in the Ministry of Coal and PMO in regard to the ongoing inquiry. 1 minute, please. Hear the complete sentence. No sentence should be taken in isolation. These officials coordinate with my officers in production of the requisite files, documents, information and clarification to the CBI. In other words, that's the point. The Joint Secretary PMO is there to coordinate the inputs. Tell me, Abid Rasool or Sanjay Jha, is the Joint Secretary PMO authorized to see the draft CBI status report?
1 minute.
Is he authorized to see the draft?
Abid Rasool, coal minister for a period of time.
No. He's so you see, he's being investigated. So Abid Rasool.
No, Arnab, the investigation is into coal ministry. The investigation was looking at any allocations which were against the laws, and the Prime Minister at one time was the coal minister. So the inputs required for the CBI were provided to them to facilitate an investigation. You should appreciate
inputs.
Let me complete it.
Abid Rasool, I have a question for you. Abid Rasool, I have a question for you, please. Tell me one thing. Suppose, hypothetically, you are under investigation, and suppose Mahesh Jethmalani is investigating you. And you are therefore expected to give the information regarding your work or business, what you're being investigated, to Mahesh Jethmalani. After that, if you manage to change your role to not just giving information regarding your business so that you can be investigated, to saying, also please give me the report that you are making on me so I can change the report as I deem fit.
Yes, Arnab, it's a
No, so is that a normal situation? Is that a normal situation?
I will answer it very fairly and very truthfully to you. If I am under investigation, definitely I would have a chance to give my version and my documents and my report.
Yes, but can you alter the report?
Not done nothing wrong.
Can you alter the report on yourself? Can you alter the report on yourself?
Yes, let me respond. You're not letting me respond. On the question of alteration, CBI has said very clearly that there was no alteration to support or suppress or conceive any part of indoing or to take out any accuse.
But that is where you are wrong.
Definitely.
That is where you are wrong.
No, that is the fact. That is the fact. If it was to support anybody or
then I'll tell you.
Take out any accused, then we could have not even...
No, I think, one second. I think you haven't seen point number 19.
You haven't
seen point number 19.
To put the report under the carpet at all.
Sir,
I'm making it very clear.
No, I'll tell you. Since I have a piece of paper before me, and clearly you don't believe me, I will ask Sanjay Jha to come closer and read out 4 parts of this report.
I've read it.
No, you read out 4 parts of the report.
I've read the report. You tell me what the question
is. So can I quote 4 parts of the report? You've read point number 19.
I've read 19 with great detail.
So point number 19 says, you want to read the report so we can read it together?
No, you go ahead.
In case you think anything is wrong.
You go ahead.
So 4 parts of the report say, point number 19 says, the tentative finding about the non-existence of a system regarding allocation of special weightage points was deleted at the instance of the officials of the PMO and the Ministry of Coal. Right or wrong?
I'll tell you
right or wrong?
Can I answer?
No, right or wrong? Is this there in the report or not?
Is this there in the report? But why are you mentioning that selectively, Arnab?
No, I'm not mentioning anything selectively.
Can you read what follows that?
Yes. Can I read what follows that? Can I read what follows that? You said read what follows that.
CBI agreed to the law ministers because it was a tentative finding and further inquiry would corroborate the reality.
Just
read that.
For God's sake, I'll read that.
No, just read what follows.
Oh, okay. So now can I?
No, one second.
Can I read what follows? No, one second. You want me to read what? I'll read what follows. I suggest you come a little closer so you know I'm reading what follows.
Yeah, sure.
The next line says, the other tentative finding about non-preparation of broadsheets or charts by the screening committee, to the best of our recollection, was deleted by the Honorable Union Minister for Law and Justice.
Right. And the line after that?
Right. Now it says, since both these changes pertain to tentative findings of the CBI which would be arrived at for further clarity, the same were acceptable.
Absolutely.
My question to
that is the CBI's value judgment.
Ridiculous.
That is the CBI. CBI is writing in its affidavit to the Supreme Court. 1 minute, Arnab. CBI, 1 minute. Why are we assuming that the director of the CBI, in submitting an affidavit to the Supreme Court, 1 minute, you are saying, 1 minute, you are not agreeing with the CBI, but give the respect to the CBI.
I am asking you today. I am asking you today.
And that is the critical point.
I am asking you today.
Vinit
Narayan and Gaurav Bhatia. No, I am asking you today. There is 2 hands go up. Vinit Narayan. Mahesh Jethmalani coming to you. Vinit Narayan.
Arnab, I want
coming
to ask you a question. You ask all of us questions. I want to ask you a question. We are very, very critical about the government's role in tampering with the affidavits and these proceedings. You may recall 2 days back when I made a written submission to the Honorable Supreme Court regarding this ongoing matter, where I reminded the court that despite Supreme Court supervision, monitoring of Supreme Court in the case, 22 names in the Jain diaries remain to be decoded till today, when the author is moving around freely. That is despite Supreme Court's monitoring. There has been tremendous tampering by CBI despite Supreme Court monitoring. 2 of my affidavits remain to be answered by the CBI, where they have concealed the files from Supreme Court's monitoring. So this has been going on.
I know, Mr.
Where do we want to go from here?
No, Mr. Narayan, I want to bring the focus. I want to bring the focus on this, and my co-reader in this report is Sanjay Jha.
Focus is all right, Arnab, but these issues will keep cropping up every day.
Yeah, I get it.
We have to go to the root of the problem.
No, we will go to the root of the problem, but this is an explosive point number 19. Gaurav Bhatia, one more point before I come to you. Mahesh Jethmalani, I'm coming to you. I know there's a lot that you want to say. I'm going to give you equal time. Just want to get a word from Gaurav Gaurav Bhatia. Now we are going to read another part of para number 19, the next sentence in our continuing attempt to go through this report. And the only reason I'm getting Sanjay Jha forward, ladies and gentlemen, is that so he doesn't think anything is quoted out of it. Next slide. Further, from paragraph 1.23 of the same report, deletion of a sentence about scope of inquiry with regard to legality of allocation. While the amendments of law were in process was done by the Honorable Union Minister for Law and Justice, which other words is there is proven as attempt to limit the scope of inquiry which impacts decision on coal blocks which have been allocated. No, right or wrong?
No, 1 minute. You have.
Is this also normal?
Arnab, you have to link it to the next line. Can you read the next line?
Yeah, I will now read the next line.
And that is where you get the conclusion.
Yeah, no, I will now read the change made in paragraph 2.8 of the final status report pertaining to PE4, which is the NDA period, about non-existence of approved guidelines for allocation of coal blocks was incorporated the instance of officials of the PMO.
And now see the last
and
line.
Ministry of Coal,
and the last
as the same was factually correct. So
that's the point.
No. So
as the same was factually correct.
No, one second.
That is the
so the PM,
line
the PM, one second.
You know, Arnab,
the PMO.
The CBI is saying that what was told to them by the law minister.
But the CBI.
What was told by listen. Please understand that the CBI also needs as much fact and information before it files a final report.
Okay, Gaurav Bhatia.
The CBI is agreeing it was factually
Gaurav Bhatia and Mahesh Jethmalani
attempt to read. There was no attempt made to mislead the CBI.
Gaurav Bhatia.
I would say, Arnab, a lot of hue and cry. A lot of hue and cry is being made about consulting the Honorable Law Minister, whereas I would say the only person they should have consulted was their lawyer, who was the then ASG, and nobody else. And he was acting as lawyer of the CBI at that point. He wasn't even subordinate to the highest law officer of the country or the law ministry. Secondly, point was being made by Mr. Rasool. He was saying that, you know, they were cooperating and they were sharing certain facts with the CBI. There is a difference between investigation and when you share information, and at investigation stage, the officers of the law ministry or of the coal ministry or the PMO could have shared any information, but when they were supposed to file the status report, nobody had the right to interfere with the language as well as the content of the status report. And that is why now it is like misleading the court itself, which was heavily relying on this CBI status report.